and out of our lineup due to injury. There's all those unknown things. We need to learn how to win hockey games with different people in and out of our lineup. We've played well. We've had an advantage here in the last 2 weeks is that we've been home. So what we didn't have all year is the advantage on the other team in terms of rest. We're going to lose that a little bit in April, and I'm sure that will humble us at times. I'm just kind of cautioning the group. You feel like you're playing well because you are, and then you're going to play well again, and we'll lose games. So we're not peaking, we're not rolling, we're just playing, and we're playing right.
We're in that really heavy division part of the schedule now, 3 straight here on this road trip. How important are those games just in terms of getting your game where it needs to be? Just obviously, those are always just a little bit more ramped up.
Well, in order to win them, you have to be right on your game. It's as a function. You always have that energy in your own division. You play each other enough that the intensity is ramped up. But we got a whole bunch of teams that are every game. It's what we went through 2 years ago. Every game is life and death. And then if you win, you're rolling, and if you lose, it's the end of the world. So they have the energy advantage potentially. And we just have to be ready to match that. But I do believe it's the best climate to play in instead of running through a bunch of teams that are either already locked in and there's no position change for them. So it's tight at the top and at the playoff race. So we're going to get hard right hockey for the next 6 weeks.
Today was about Brad Marchand with the Panthers. I think tomorrow is not going to be about the Panthers, but about Boston, right? Are you guys cool with that, to let him just kind of say his goodbyes and all that tomorrow?
For sure. It's not just your average trade. This is a player that was the fabric of the team and a storied franchise that, has had very few captains over the years. This is a big, big deal, and it needs to be respected. And he does a brilliant job. I think he's just incredibly honest when he speaks. I really like some of the interviews I've seen. He's a very, very honest man and emotional, and it should be respected and revered how important he was to that team. And there was a change, and there's been a handful of elite players like Brad that left their team after being captain. It's a big deal.
If you guys were not on the ice, Eki, Verhage, and Gadovich, anything?
I don't have anybody that's physically long term. I think Gadge has still got a family issue, but that's positive today. So we expect to see him join us, and everybody else will travel with us as of now.
Any concern that Verhage or Ekblad would not be eligible for tomorrow?
Not yet. We'll deal with it tomorrow.
Any other questions?
I mean, we already kind of touched on it, but even after he wouldn't be in the lineup for Boston anyways. But how weird is it preparing for a Boston Bruins team after looking at Brad Marchand wearing your gear?
Yeah, it'll take 5 minutes from those guys. The puck will drop and it'll all just completely disappear. It's more, they got a number of important names that left that team over the last 2 weeks, and then they went and beat Tampa 4-zip. So we'll look at that part of it more than we'll look at the nostalgia of the player change. That's for Brad to deal with and the Bruins to deal with, but for the rest of the guys, that'll be a game.
Did you guys have a legitimate rivalry with those guys?
The 2 heaviest playoff series that I've been involved with the Bruins the last 2 years. Physically, the nastiest, the hardest, and the most consistently hard. It wasn't one game where we pounded each other and then settled in. It never settled, which was a great thing for our team. It was a great thing for us to learn what it takes. And both those, first and second round, that's not in the final. It was hard, and it was good for us.
Is it a little strange to plan for Boston? You guys have done so much game prep for them, and now a lot of faces are out, but yet here they are. They won the other day.
Well,
right
so the dynamic there is different. I don't know what the year number, but I'm going to say it's probably in the 20s, 20 years or so. The pressure is for the first time off the Boston Bruins. They've clearly shifted gears in their expectations about what happened at the trade deadline. So now you got 20 hockey players who are just going to come out and play and have fun and rally around each other, and they were good. They were good in their last game. The game doesn't care who plays it. It doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care what you did last year. There's a handful of things it demands over time. It demands of the winner. Some night a goalie will get hot. Some night you get breaks. Some nights you get some inexplicable things that happen. But in general, the game has a set of demands. The team that meets those demands wins. So we're all all going to do our very best to make the right sacrifices to meet those demands.